this is Shraddha. Welcome back to my channel. Yesterday, I have had the honor to talk to the USA Today bestselling author Ingrid Seymour. I had a blast talking to her and I didn't even realize certain things. For example, as readers, we all crave to connect with the characters and we just crave it and we can't just pinpoint it, right? Has it ever happened with you? Let me know. While talking to Ingrid, she actually pinpointed it, and then I realized that how important it is to connect with characters. I learned a lot while talking to her. I learned a lot about her too. Some things that I don't think even as a reader you might have known. Did you? Watch the interview and let me know if you learned something or you already knew the fact. With that being said, let's begin. Please welcome the USA Today best-selling author Ingrid Seymour. Hi Ingrid, I'm so happy and honored to have you here tonight. Thank you for doing this with me. I'm truly honored. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. I appreciate your invitation. It's an honor for me too. It's exciting.
Okay, so I've got this bunch of questions for you. Would you please answer them?
Sure.
Okay, so I'll get on to the first one. What inspired you to start writing?
It's really hard to say. When I was in high school, I always would just start writing things, and my dad had an old typewriter, really old Remington typewriter, where the keys would get stuck, and I would just write things, but I never really finished any stories. There were a lot of first chapters and just first paragraphs. It wasn't like I had a feeling like this is something I gotta do. It's just something that it would come as inspiration and I would want to put it down. It wasn't until much later on that I started wondering, I kept doing these things, trying to write stories and started wondering, why am I doing that? Why do I want to tell stories? And I have a very good friend who I was conversing with one time, and I was telling her that this happened to me all the time. And she listens. She's an awesome friend, the friends that really listen to you. And the next time I saw her, she had a book for me. And it was a book by Stephen King, which is called On Writing. He just tells you in this book how he writes. And how he does it and how he began and all of that. He tells you his story. And that maybe was the inspiration to get me going and write the first story. After that, I used his method of creating a goal per day. Like I'm going to write, it was a tiny little bitty goal. I'm going to write 300 words a day, but I'm going to do it every day is what he tells you. Set a goal. It doesn't matter if it's tiny, but do it every day. And I did that for a year, an entire year. And of course, you write 300 words every day for a year, you end up with a book. So that might have been the thing that brought that inspiration. Or maybe my friend.
Some friends are really just great. They just make your life so simpler and easier.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah,
I said they sure do, and she's certainly wonderful.
Yep. Okay, so second one, when did you first realize you wanted to be a writer?
I guess it was then. I mean, I have two children, and I had just had my first one, and that desire to write kind of came back more strongly after I had my first child. And I think it might have been a desire to express my individuality. When you become a mom, a lot of your life becomes about the child and taking care of the child and making sure that they grow up healthy and they learn and all of that. And maybe it all becomes too much about the children and you get afraid to lose yourself. And so writing felt like it was a sort of expressing who I was. It was when my daughter was a year old that I wrote my first book.
Uh-huh. All right. So, where do you get your information or ideas for your books?
Well, as far as ideas go, my ideas come from all kinds of places. I can be inspired by doing chores or by watching a TV show. It really has happened that way for some of my ideas. I was watching a documentary on the monarch butterflies and how they migrate for many, many miles to go to Mexico. And it was really amazing, and of course they talked about their metamorphosis and everything. And I was watching the show and thought, wouldn't it be cool if people could go through a metamorphosis? And you have read my Morphed Chronicles series, and that's where that came from. So really, go ahead.
I was asking, do you have any favorite TV shows?
Yes, very many. At the moment, I'm watching Game of Thrones, which I never watched it when it came out. And I'm kind of glad I didn't, because I'm getting to watch it all at once and I don't have to wait. One of my favorites like that too is Sherlock Holmes. I love that show. The one with Benedict Cumberbatch. It's an amazing show. I love the characters. I love the twists and turns. It's very fun show. If you haven't watched it, you should.
Well, I haven't. I do have Sherlock Holmes, some novels. They are here, The Hound of the Baskervilles and all. I'm having novels, but apparently I haven't watched the movies and all. I'll watch it. All right, please do complete what you were saying before I interrupted.
No, I think that was it. I just was saying that that's where I got my idea for Keeper, for that novel, was watching that documentary. And I can really get ideas from just about anything. One time I was cleaning the window, and it wasn't the kind that flips, so I couldn't clean the outside. So I had to reach out and clean the outside. And I was like, well, and would not be, I just would like to go through the window and then clean it, because I would be able to get everywhere. And I was like, oh, just sparks an idea for a character that can do that sort of thing.
That's cool. All right, my next question. What is your work schedule like when you're writing?
Okay, so it's changed through the years. Just in the last 2.5 years, I become a full-time author. I used to actually have a job as a computer engineer. So I would write programs, which is not, there's some creativity in there, but it's a kind of different creativity, lots of math and lots of, financial things and other things. And at that time, what I would do was, since I had a full-time job and kids and everything, so I would eat lunch at my desk, and then I would take my lunch hour to go somewhere and write. And then I would also do work once the kids were asleep in the night. And then now it's really different. I get up early at 6. According to my husband, that's not early, but I work out. Then I take a shower and get me some tea. And by 8, I try to be at my desk. And I try to get all my writing done first thing in the morning. And then once that's done, I set a word count still, like I did in the very beginning, except now my word count is not 300 words, it's 3,000 words a day when I'm writing a novel, which, it's a lot. At this point for me, it's a lot. For some people, maybe people who are younger and don't get as tired sitting in a desk anymore, like I do. They may write a lot more, but 3,000 words is a good challenge for me to get done through the day. And then after that, I will try to do other activities that are required, like marketing and answering emails and getting books ready for publication, uploading them everywhere, that sort of thing, which is necessary, although not as creative as just writing or plotting. And then I normally finish around 2 or 3, and I have to sometimes run errands, pick the kids up from somewhere or bring them somewhere, and then sometimes I'll come back and just work a little bit more in the evening for an extra hour or so. But it's really great. I love being a full-time author. It's fun.
My father wakes up at 4:30 in the morning, and he's like, "You wake up too late," and I wake up at 6. So it's weird.
Yeah, that's how my husband is. He wakes up super early, but he starts work at 6, and he gets to quit early also because he starts work at 6. So he gets, yeah.
Same could be said for my father. It's so weird. Like, they just wake up early and they make you feel like you are late. And according to me, they're too early. We are late.
Yes, and then that causes him to also go to bed super early because he's tired. And so, yeah, no, I'm not going to bed that early.
All right, so my next question. Do you remember the first story you ever read and the impact it had on you?
I honestly don't, and I will tell you that it's kind of sad. But I am from Honduras. I moved to the United States when I went to college later on in life. And so there really weren't that many books around for me to read. It's kind of sad, you know. I can't really tell you, you know, like my kids have grown up reading tons of books, us reading to them since they were a year old, you know, or earlier, and them learning to read when they were 3 years old. And every summer they read stacks of books. You know, right now we're in summer break, so we go to the library all the time and get a bunch of books for them. But we didn't have libraries like that. And really my school books were my books, you know, whatever school assignments I have. So I can't really say like my kids could start, oh, you know, I remember reading Harry Potter or whatever it was. I really can't tell you what it was that I had to read. I probably have like 5 books, you know, of fables or those old stories, but that's about it. So none of them really had a big impact on me like that. Sad. I wish it had been different. But no, I'm making up for it now. I'm reading all the time.
Yes. All right. So, all right. Now, I don't think this is the right question, but I'll still ask it because it's on the list. What was your favorite book when you were a kid?
Yeah, it goes back to that same thing. I can't really tell you.
Let's discard it. The question's plain.
Yeah, all right. I answered it before.
Yes. What do you think makes a good story?
For me, I mean, there's a lot of elements really, but whenever I'm reading a book, if the characters don't draw me in, if I can't care about them, then it doesn't matter how good the plot is. It's just gonna feel like one thing happening after another thing, you know, after another thing. It's just not gonna feel like I care to keep on reading because I don't care what happens to the character. So definitely, it's crucial for me that the characters are well fleshed out and they're interesting and they're complex and they're not just too perfect or too evil. You know, everybody is a mesh of good and bad. Is the reason I really enjoy that Sherlock Holmes series so much, because the characters really they blend into the gray areas very well there. So yeah, definitely that's a must for me.
Like realistic characters, right?
Yes.
That's related to, right? All right. So, which of your books were the most enjoyable to write?
Um, it's hard question because it's kind of like, which of your children do you like best? um, but my series Ignite the Shadows really has a special spot in my heart. It's a trilogy, and it's the first series that was published by a major publisher. And when I finished writing it, and my husband read it, and I remember telling him, "This is the one. This is the one that's gonna, get published." So at the time, right now I'm a full-time author, indie author, and really I have kind of stopped pursuing trying to get traditional publishers, because I enjoy being an indie author so much. It's just hard, to put myself through all the things you have to do when you're trying to publish traditionally. There's just too many obstacles that just bring a lot of negativity and a lot of like bad feelings. And I have so many readers, that contact me all the time, and they want to read my stories. So it seems kind of silly to not do it, to not put them out there. But at the time, this has been a while, I really was very vested in publishing traditionally, and that was the first series that got published traditionally. And I was right, I had a feeling. I was like, this story, I love that story. It's very complex. It's very genre bendy. It's kind of a sci-fi at the same time that it's a urban fantasy, and it's kind of a horror also. So I really enjoy writing those kinds of stories that are not overdone, that are more unique. Came up with kind of like the Morphids, that you have read that series. They're Morphids. I came up with Morphids, and in Ignite the Shadows, there's what I call ecliptors, and I also came up with ecliptors. So yeah, that's my answer for that question. That's gotta be the one that, even though I loved all my series, that one has a special place in my heart.
I will need to read that one. I'll read that one as soon as I can. All
Oh,
right.
thank you.
I'm sure I like it. I liked the Keeper book. I love that one. I'm certain that I'm gonna like that one too. I just can't wait to read it now. I have to download it. All
Yeah.
right. Uh-huh. So my next question: do you have a favorite character that you have written? If so, who and what makes them so special?
Yeah, I would say it's also the main character of Ignite the Shadows. Her name is Marcy Guerrero. She is the reason why I like her very much. Number one, like I said earlier, she's very, she's not perfect. She's got a very good attributes, but she's not perfect at all. She's got also a lot of issues and a lot of things she's got to learn, especially because, I write a lot of young adult and new adult fiction. Sometimes a lot of these young adult characters in these books are too perfect. And who is perfect when they're a teen? They still are getting to know themselves. They're still learning who they are. And so she's a very strong character. I like writing strong heroines that are independent, and that is really cool about her. She knows martial arts, and she's a hacker. She's really good at hacking computers, but she also is challenged by shadows that she sees in her mind, and she doesn't know what they are. And she does a lot of crazy stuff to kind of try to break herself free of the shadows, and she gets in a lot of trouble because she's speeding on her bicycle, like motor bicycle, or not coming home when she's supposed to come home. Her mom gets mad at her all the time, and so she gets really angry. She's got anger problems, and she needs to learn how to be a better person, and how to not let the problems she's having in her mind ruin her life. And it's really cool how she grows into being more of an adult, and how she learns what is actually trouble in her mind. So I really, really like Marcy. She's really
Yeah,
cool.
I begin to like her too. I guess I love her the moment I read the book. She sounds great. I actually like it. Something that I found about you while reading your books, while talking to you, that you really connect with characters. And as a reader, I guess we all have to connect with characters we're reading about. And we don't. When we don't, it feels so weird. You're not living in the world. You're just simply reading about it as if you're reading a boring article in school. So yes, that's something I really like about you. It's
Thank you.
amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I think it's really important to find that connection, or like you said, it's just not gonna be as enjoyable. If the characters feel too anything, too
Yeah.
too pretty, too smart, there's gotta be something that, like a little spice to life. We all have quirks, and maybe some things that are not so good about us, but that the people who like us learn to love anyhow.
It's true. All right, so my next question. If you could be a supernatural creature, which one would it be?
A Grisha, or
Uh,
creature. I'm sorry, creature. Um, hmm, I like vampires. Um, Although I don't think I would like not being able to go out in the day, in the daytime. So I don't know. That's kind of hard. Maybe a shifter would be better. Like really cool dragon shifter and you could fly. That would be cool.
sounds
Flying
cool.
and flying and being able to burn the people I don't like.
That's definitely, I guess, I'd also like to have.
I'm just kidding. But yeah, that flying would be really cool. And so any kind of shifter that would allow you to fly, that would be cool.
Yes, all right. So, what are your favorite novels?
Um, I have several ones, but more recently, and in the young adult genre, I love anything that Laini Taylor writes. I absolutely adore her writing, and I have read everything that she has published. I have even, like, she published an earlier series that I could only find one of the books. This is just a duology actually, and I I couldn't even find a used book, but I scoured everywhere until I found it, and I was able to read it because it's out of print now. But I found it, and I got a used copy, and I read it. Um, she's the author of Daughter of Smoke and Bones and Strange the Dreamer. I'm sure you've probably seen those books around. Her writing is very lyrical, very pretty writing, and her ideas are unique. I have trouble finding ideas that are not the same story over and over, just with different characters and a few little differences here or there. Um, and I just get tired of reading those books that don't have anything original in them. So that's one reason why I adore her writing. All of her stuff is so unique, and she puts a cool twist on everything, and the writing is just yummy, really good.
Do you like the Shadowhunter Chronicles?
Yeah, is that Cassandra Clare?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. I have read probably the first four. I read them a long time ago when they were coming out. They're pretty fun, yeah. And
I
the
sorry.
show, I want to watch the show, but I haven't been able to.
Don't watch the show. The ending is pathetic. Don't watch the show.
Oh,
They just
oh,
it's pathetic.
oh
Anyway,
no.
I actually just bought the first edition of Chain of Gold. That was why I was asking. I literally wanted to flaunt my first edition. I just bought it.
Yeah,
You
no,
guys,
I haven't read that one. No.
it's nice. You should read it. I
Yeah,
have.
there's so many books, it's hard to read all of them that you want to.
Yes. Do you like first editions?
Sure, yeah. If I can find them, I love books. I love, filling my bookshelves with all kinds of them.
Yeah, I've been obsessed with those lately, and I've been digging for them everywhere I can. Okay, so the next question: who is the author you admire the most in your genre?
Uh, Definitely Lainey Taylor, like I just told you about. I also like Lee Bardugo and um, Maggie Stiefvater. Also, she's amazing. I like her writing and her stories. And Sarah J. Maas. They're definitely some of my favorite reads lately.
Yeah, I have read Sarah J. Maas. Her writing is so descriptive. While reading The Throne of Glass, it was as if I was actually living in there. It was so dark. It was really dark.
Yeah, yeah. The later books in the series also, there are some things that are still stick in my mind.
Yeah.
They were kind of spooky.
It did give me chills. It was so weird. Like, I started reading the second book sometime after that. I don't know. And she was assassin and all those heads and hands and rotten hands. She's rolling off heads. It actually gave me grief. It's so weird.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of intense and
Yeah.
graphic at times.
All right. So, if you had to describe yourself in 3 words, what would they be?
Um, so definitely, I have, how they say people can be left brain and right brain. Um, I don't know if you've ever heard of that. And
Actually.
supposedly, like the right brain people, I think it is, are um, more of like the people who like math and science and that sort of thing, and then left brain people would be the one who are, would like to paint or be more creative and that sort of thing. And so I feel like I've taken those tests, and like it feels like I'm in the middle of those things, because I was a computer scientist and I love math and I did well in math and all of those science courses as well. But I always wanted to write, and I like drawing, and I like doing crafts and that sort of thing. And so I feel like I have a very split brain. And so when I was thinking about this question and thinking that what are the things that describe me, a lot of the things are the right brain type of things. Like I'm very disciplined, so like I can get up every day at the same time and do what I'm supposed to do. And just like, I'm going to write 300 words a day, and I did it every single day for an entire year. So there's a lot of discipline in me. And I think that it's really necessary for an author, because it can take a long time and a lot of patience to write a book. And I've just finished yesterday. I finished my 44th book. So without that discipline, I don't think that I'd be able to write that many books. I'm also very organized. These things are like my right side of the brain, and I was thinking, where's the fun stuff? Discipline, organized, and really one thing that I am And I don't know if that's from my other side of the brain. I'm really intense. When I like something, or I want to do something, or I believe in something, I'll be very intense about it. It's like I'm full on ahead and I'm doing it. And so I think that those are the main things that kind of the people who know me would tell you. I'm very driven. That's another good word. Really very driven. When I want something, it's like I'm full steam ahead doing that.
You're very determined.
Definitely.
All right. So finally, my last question. Any message you would like to give to your readers?
All the time, is thank you. Thank you for being there. Thank you for reading. I hear from readers all the time, almost every day, unless I'm not sitting at my desk and I am doing something else elsewhere. I interact with my readers. I'm open to talking to them, to answering their questions. And I have, an ARC team that I'm very close with. Some of them have been in my ARC team for years, and I know it's about them, about their lives, where they live, what they do, that sort of thing, because I like having that connection with them. And so I'm always grateful, that people will take time out of their day, like you are doing now, to talk to me. So I think that that's really awesome. So really, I just want to tell my readers, thank you for being there. Thank you for reading. Thank you for the messages that they send me when, so I absolutely love this story. I get messages from people that I never met, and they said, I just read your book Keeper, or your book Ignite the Shadows, and I love it. I just wanted to tell you that. And it's just amazing, because writing can be kind of like a lonely type work. You're by yourself in your own head, writing every day. And it's great to see that you touch people's lives with what you're doing, what you're writing. So that will always be my message to them. Thank you.
Oh, actually, by the way, I saw this latest art you were doing when you sent your newsletter, I guess this week, right? You sent a newsletter, and there was this very beautiful, you were doing with crystals and diamonds. I loved it.
Oh yes, thank you. It's called diamond painting, and my daughter gave it to me for Christmas. So you can upload whatever picture you want onto their website, and they will make a print for you and send you all the little diamonds. And so it's kind of like the whole picture is made by little dots of different colors, and those little diamonds, they're called diamonds. They're not real diamonds. They're just shine in different lights. They shine different ways. And so if you look at the picture from one angle, different angle, you get different facets. And it's really cool. I can't wait to be done with it so I can hang it, frame it and hang it. It's gonna look so good.
Yeah, I like it. It's having this unique touch about it, and I really loved it. Thanks for making it too. Do post, just send us the whole picture when you're sending out your newsletter. I'd love to see how it turned out.
Yeah, I will. I've been sending out like from when I started. At first, I only had a little bit done, and I started it in the beginning of February, and I think it's gonna take me another 3 or 4 months to finish it, because the diamonds are little bitty. They're like tiny. They're like smaller than a lentil. They're just tiny. And so it takes forever, and there's like 15,000, I think, of them. So it's taking me a long time, but it's fun, and it's one of those things that I talk to my mom on the phone, and then I can work on it while we're talking. So yeah, that's when I work on it.
It's wonderful. It actually is. Thank you so very much, Ingrid, for doing this with me. I'm so honored, and I actually learned a lot while talking to you. I realized that how important connecting to the characters we read about is. I didn't even realize it. I'm so honored and happy to talk to you. Thanks a lot.
Me too. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video as much as I did. And if you did and you smiled even once, hit the like button and share this video with all of your friends and all those lovely bibliophiles out there, because people sharing is caring. Also, do not forget to subscribe to my channel, and if you've already done that, please know I'm super thrilled and honored to have you here. Thank you very much for being here. I'll see you guys in upcoming videos. Till then, please keep reading.